We're almost there. I say we're close enough. All right, I call the regular meeting of the Milliken Board of Trustees for September 11th, 2024 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will town clerk please call roll?
Trustee Beckman. She's on Zoom. Trustee Lane.
Here.
Trustee Nix.
Here.
Trustee Orcutt.
Here.
Trustee Wakeman.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean.
Here.
Mayor Austin.
Here. Thank you. Does anybody have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
We would like to remove discussion item A since we discussed it at the work session.
Any other adjustments? Take a motion on the matter?
I'll move the agenda is approved with amendments.
A second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Lane.
Yes.
Trustee Nix.
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt.
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman.
Yes.
Trustee Beckman.
Yes.
That is not trustee Beckman.
Who was it? That was a Michael.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean.
Trustee Beckman
Yes.
makes a sound.
Oh my God.
Mayor
No
Austin.
sound.
Yes, you're the problem, Joe.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Yeah, we'll come back to trustee Beckman shortly. All right, next on the agenda is citizens' comment. Citizens' comment is a point in the meeting where the public is invited to address the town board on any items except agenda items for which there is a public hearing. Public comment on public hearing items will occur during the scheduled public hearing. All comments should be directed to the town board. There is a 3-minute limit per speaker. Please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record. Who would like to speak?
Awesome. Thank you. You're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hummer EV. That's surprising.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate you.
My name is Stephen Strain. Here to talk about the Section 8.2, the parking weight limits. Brought it up last month. You guys asked for some diagrams or pictures to show. The first page is like a breakdown of it, of the classes, the weights, everything like that. So right now, our code is 8,000 pounds. As you can see, like that's class 2. And you can see pictures on the next page of class 1 and class 2. It's like class 1's like a Ford Ranger or mid-size SUV. Class 2 is your F-150s, 1500s. 2B is like the 2500s and stuff like that. Where I find the discrepancy is, and I feel like we should discuss, is the class 5, 6, and 7. And that's kind of where, as a working class community, it's coming into play. As you can see, there's a lot of people here tonight that we're all in the same boat. We all but readily used class 5, 6, and 7 trucks, that type of thing. So to me, in my opinion, if I were to change the code, in my opinion, I would change the code to 26,000 pounds and below. Why I say 26,000 pounds is, as you can see, the 33,000 pounds are like your dump trucks, your 18-wheelers, and everything like that. But the 26,000 pound vehicles are like your utility vehicles. There's no difference between a mechanic's truck coming in to your neighborhood or a utility worker coming to change the light pole outside your house. The roads, in my opinion, can handle them. My truck has been, not that identical truck, but a similar truck has been parked on my property for 8 years, as long as I've owned the house. I don't have ruts in my driveway. I don't have broken concrete in my driveway or in the street, that type of thing. So that's where I'm basing my information off of. We do, as mechanics, have a lot of tools and values. Our livelihoods are in these trucks. We can have upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars in these trucks. And to leave them at an unsecure place, even if it is secure. And unfortunately, this past, I believe, month, we've had an incident here in Milliken where a secure facility is broken into and a couple mechanics lost a nice amount of money because they loaded them up and took them out. And it's unfortunate. And but I kind of hope I speak for everybody, is like, a lot of us, we can't recoup from that. You know what I mean? That's a house payment. That's a new mortgage. And that type of stuff, to start all over at our ages would be huge. So that's kind of where I would like to talk about and discuss. Is there any questions about the pictures? There is a little bit better picture on the back. It kind of breaks it down, the last 3 pages of what you see. And I remember last month the question really was, what's the characteristics, or what's the difference between 7 and 6 or 7 and 8? And as you can see, class 8 is the 18-wheeler pulling them. Has the 2, so if you take the trailer section out of it, you can still see the 2 wheels on the rear, whereas a class 7 still has the 2 wheels in the rear. But a class 6, you go to that, it has the single rear. And that's really your defining, because at that point you jump up in weight and what you can haul and what you can carry. And those weight classes on that last page, class 8 vehicles that defy truck classifications, that's where you get into your heavy haul and that type of stuff, where you have to have permits for, and they literally have to watch the roads that they're going on, the bridges that they're going over, and that type of stuff, because they're just too heavy.
So you get your truck parked beside your driveway?
I do.
With no problem?
Say that again?
No problem with it?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
I do say the light pole, because I was in the middle of a winter storm and I went to back in there and I took out the light pole with my service truck, so.
Wow.
But I tell everybody, I was like, that just adds curb appeal.
There you go.
That, and I claim the light pole now, so. Just don't send me the bill for the electricity if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. I think I would also question on the really heavy-duty picture here of we've got a truck,
Yep.
a cab, I guess is what they call it, and then we've got the NP?
Trailer.
Trailer,
But
yeah.
that's-
So if they've got just the cab only, I think we need to consider.
You're still over 26.
Yes, you're still over. And that's where that picture is kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Even
So
just
this-
truck, you're still over that 33,000.
This part of it is what
That
this
truck
weighs.
would be rated if you
Yeah.
take that trailer off
Uh-huh.
is still rated, curb weight is at 33,000 pounds.
For just the cab?
Yes,
Who knew?
yeah.
And
So
we
we
have a
don't want
separate
those.
ordinance about
No.
trailers in town.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So when I was growing up in Laramie, Wyoming, when I was a kid, there was a guy who was a Snap-on Tools guy.
Yep.
And he couldn't park on the street, but I think somehow he could park on the side of his house, and it was they built like a cover, so it was not totally enclosed, but it was off the street. I don't know what our rules are for off the street, for a bigger, I mean, I think Snap-on Tools would be a Class 7, I would think.
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
believe it would.
But all these other ones, the
that's-
Class 6 and below, I see those parked all over town.
All the
Yes.
time, yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is just
That's not an
like,
issue.
literally like the messages, because I'm sure you guys all have seen the post that I put out on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just trying to like, hey, like guys, like this is what, we need to talk about this. We need to have our voices heard. And this is just like a small group that's messaged and like counted down their street and everything like that, you know, and it's a
So,
serious number.
yeah, I mean, I can see you getting your truck, I can't see a Snap-on tool truck getting, because those are bigger trucks
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But yet they're filled with a lot of equipment
A lot of-
that's very valuable.
The difference is their weight rating, is they can go up to the 33,000 pounds because they'll have a heavier duty axle on the back. And so there was one picture here that popped up. If you go back to the pictures that I put on there, the Class 7 truck, right? So that would fall under a Class 7 truck because it's a heavier duty axle and like what they can carry. They can, I've seen Snap-on guys put 2 or 3 toolboxes on their like tailgates almost.
That's crazy.
And drive around with them. And like they're perfectly legal, you know what I mean? Because it's not touching their rated weight.
Show of hands, who's got a Snap-on truck tonight?
they're not showing their hand. Are you kidding?
Usually we're pretty good, so.
You,
Just wondering.
yeah. Everybody's in debt to Snap-on. But you, I mean, we're just talking here, but your proposal was up to Class 6, which is the 26,000 pounds.
Yes.
And that's like the service, that's the XL type trucks
Yep.
that come in and out. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these trucks, like you've already said, they're going around. I'm familiar with, 350, 450, 550. It's the axle, makes it so it can haul more and everything. But these are already in our community. So, yeah, I just want to say I really do appreciate everybody being here. It does make a difference. It's always nice to see people in the community coming, letting us know what they want, need, and you did an excellent job with this handout too. It's
Thank you.
very helpful.
Well, they
So,
didn't show up with pitchforks, so that's always a good.
yeah, is this a peaceful protest? No, there's no burning buildings.
Okay.
So,
Other questions from the board?
No questions. Thanks for your time and effort.
I do appreciate it. It is enlightening, and I will tell you that our town administrator has a small update in her report
Okay,
after this as well.
all right,
Okay.
perfect.
Is there anybody else?
That's
that
just to
has
keep you around.
Exactly.
just to keep you around.
So does anybody here have a truck that's a Class 7 or larger? And are you
I
able?
don't bring it very often.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There is a situation, so I have a neighbor who's a diesel mechanic at a shop in Fort Collins, and part of his job is that he occasionally has to take the tow truck home and run shifts with the tow truck. And it's not a super large tow truck, it's a single axle that would be considered a small cab semi. And, I mean, that's part of his livelihood, he doesn't have the option to not do that.
On-call work, basically, yeah.
So is that so is that tow truck a Class 7? Because
I'm
it's,
assuming it's a truck would be,
Is
it single axle?
What
So
kind
that's a
what's the
six.
chassis?
it's like a Freightliner, I think.
Freightliner?
So I would have to see,
Yeah.
he's just gonna try to make yours mine, but he's a busy man.
Okay.
So.
And so I've had a lot of time to think about this and read over the codes and everything like that. And so my thing was, okay, so we have our school buses at the elementary school that are parked in a residential area. that are parked on the street constantly, that are over 24 feet long. I believe they're closer to 32. But there's no difference between that and that, or a mechanic's, whether it's a Ford or a Peterbilt. And that's also where I'm basing my saying, hey, this isn't really hurting the concrete, this isn't really hurting the roads, because they're parked there all summer long. And I know, I'm sure there's some sort of like, hey, it's okay for them in there, because that would cost the taxpayers millions of dollars to build a garage, and I don't want that. I believe we voted that out a couple years ago, saying, hey, we can't afford them to build a garage. So with that, and with him saying that, is like, we have like a couple options I think we need to like ball over or talk about, is like, okay, if we did a weight rating at 26,000 pounds, that opens it up to everybody. You know what I mean? That's like best case scenario, right? I think worst case scenario would be put it at 19.5, with a special accommodation like school buses for the mechanics trucks or on-call tow trucks, that type of thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that would kind of say, hey, these small guys in the 550s are all right on the streets and everything like that, but these guys that are mechanics trucks have a special, like, we get it, you gotta work type situation. So I don't know if anybody agrees with that or disagrees or has a concern with that.
My only concern is with the weight ratings. If we limit to weights, who's deciding what weighs what?
Are we gonna send somebody to a scale?
Right.
You know, every time
And
we're
so
concerned
maybe
about
by
it.
axle,
Yeah.
because I know my truck it's heavy for a
Yeah.
truck.
And that's a very good, I never really thought of that. That's a very good
Yeah.
recommendation as well, as a limit to axles.
Mm-hmm.
We did a little other research to like neighboring towns, and they really, Johnstown has a code for it, but nobody else does. Berthoud, Platteville, sorry, don't have anything, any type of codes for any weight restrictions.
What was Johnstown's? Just out of curiosity.
It was also 8,000.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yes. I wish I could lie to you there.
Just park it on their street. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
All right.
all right, anything else?
Other questions from the board?
I guess just a comment, just to let you guys know, like, and I'm just speaking for myself here, but our goal is not to impede you guys in any way. It's just, you know, wanting to protect the town property, taxpayer dollars and things like that. And so just appreciate you guys coming and looking for solutions.
Yeah, and I don't think, I appreciate that. I don't think it's attacking. I think it's that everything's evolving and changing. And I think field mechanics and that type of stuff are kind of forgotten about. They're kind of hush-hush in the back, but there's a lot of us. And there's coming more and more, like we're definitely understaffed. There's never, I'm trying to hire 2 guys right now. So I mean, I get it, we're just, you know what I mean? And
Well,
we're
and
always out
I
there working.
think even just informing about your industry as well, and just thinking about the tow truck drivers that are on call and, you know, maybe aren't quite considered first responder, but in a lot of ways they should be, in order to help take care of immediate need. And I also know a lot of mechanics and whatnot are on call as well.
And that's,
so,
I've had that conversation as well. We're on calls, like Caterpillar does generators at hospitals. I believe Matsu does generators at hospitals. I do generators at the dairies. So when our power goes out or it's a bad snowstorm, my guys go out if the generator doesn't come up and go on, and that type of stuff, you know what I mean? And like that type of stuff has to keep going, unfortunately. So, all right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, for anybody else in the audience, is there anything that he did not cover that you would like to add on to what he had to say, or something different? Or you're just all in agreement? Show of hands?
We do have a lot of people with recreational campers and trucks that fall in that limit too. So there's lots of people that probably don't even understand that this is something that could concern them. But they can't.
Okay. All right. Well, we will take a look at it.
Yeah,
There's-
motorhomes, yeah.
Motorhomes, yeah.
Motorhomes fall under a different
Do they?
code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 72 hours is on the street, and then that's it.
But if they're parking on their property though.
There's,
Has to be a hard surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, either way
Regulation.
though, it's the same
Right.
consideration,
Yeah.
so, right?
So hard surface means they can have a driveway adjacent to their house that they
Just
park
next to their house, they can
Yeah.
park it next to their house, yeah.
Right, gravel.
or concrete? I mean, or gravel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
depends upon what the HOA allows as
Well,
well.
that too.
The
Long
HOA
way.
is usually stricter
There's those
than the town.
restrictions too.
Yeah, but we have a significant part of town that's not an HOA.
Right.
Or not maybe an HOA, but not a restricted.
So,
So I just have to check.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, if there's no further comment, I'll close the public comment, citizens' comment, excuse me. We'll move on to meeting minutes. Is there any discussion or comments in the minutes of August 28th, 2024? No changes or updates? All right, I'll take a motion.
I motion to approve the minutes from August 28th, 2024.
Second,
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Nix,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Beckman Rick,
Yes.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt,
yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Next item on the agenda is the town administrator's report. Administrator Powell.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and trustees. Just to update y'all on a few things around town. The Ehrlich Lake Pump Station. So the pumps, hatches, manhole rings have been installed at the pump station. The items that still need to be completed are drilling a new well. So we need to have the engineering plans, put it out for RFP, the bid process, and construction. And then we need to still rehabilitate the Watson well, and then piping from the Watson well to the pump station. The controls need to be installed and XL to install the transformer. So we still a ways away, but we're getting there. Probably the hardest thing is gonna be getting XL, to be honest. We're still waiting on that for 23 3/4. County Road 46 has been striped, so if anybody has driven down that, it's much better. And to your point here this evening, at the previous meeting, there were citizen concerns regarding the roadway weight limit. We have asked ground engineering to provide us with an acceptable weight limit based on the town's minimum standards, which is determined by the base depth and asphalt thickness for our local roadways. So that way we could determine exactly what the weight can be. I don't know if any of you remember, we had to replace the road in front of the fire department on Irene.
Okay.
And that was due to the infrastructure could not support the weight of the fire trucks. And so that road was just crumbling away. So we need to find out to ensure that our roads have the base capacity. It's more the base than the asphalt thickness, if I'm correct on that, John?
That's correct.
So we are looking into it. We're not experts, and so we're going to get an expert in to do that for us.
Will there be an average on that? Because there's parts of town with 80-year-old roads.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So we'll come up with our best solution.
All right.
Yeah, so there's newer roads, there's older roads. So we'll do the best we can. So we want to work with you. We appreciate you coming here and talking to us about it. And we're going to see what we can do.
Okay. Do you, 'cause I've never done this, you know what I mean? I don't know if anyone else has, like, what is the next step with that? Or do we have like a timeline?
So if ground comes in and they say, we believe you can have, the roads can carry this much weight. Then staff would turn around and bring an amendment back to the town board, requesting that this limit be raised,
Okay.
if that's the case. So the staff would take it from there, and we certainly would keep you apprised of it. You can always check in with me anytime you want. We're still waiting to hear, we spoke to ground engineering. We were hoping that they would get back to us again this week. We haven't heard from him yet, so John Rebus, our streets director, is reaching back out to him again.
Okay.
So as soon as we can get that determination, then we can move forward on the staff side
Okay.
to present it to the town board.
All right. If that does take like an extra month or something like that, I remember you pushed code enforcement back a month.
Right.
Would you be willing to do that again until we can come to some sort of conclusion?
Just for clarity, my intention was to have things suspended until we come to a resolution.
Right, and if anybody, if it's otherwise for anybody, just let us know.
All right.
Because, you know, things happen, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep us updated, and we'll keep you updated,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I am gonna have to sneak out of here.
No, you have to wait till I'm done. I use my best mom voice on you. Okay. Sorry, I was just kidding.
No, you're welcome.
Comcast should be going live in Frig Farms within the next week, so yay, broadband.
All right.
Our Parks Department has been working on cleaning out the drainage ditches around town that the town is responsible for. There's other ditches we are not. And then they've also been grooming the trail around Ehrlich Lake, adding more crusher fines, just doing prep work for the end of the season. So everybody's doing some cleanup work. So, anyway, I'm done. You're very welcome.
Questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions from the board of the town administrator?
Thank you all.
Have a
Any
good
questions
night.
on the report? Okay.
No?
Thank you, Administrator Powell.
You're welcome.
And thank you, everyone, for attending. All right, there is nothing on the consent agenda. Action agenda is consideration to approve a boundary agreement between the town of Milliken and the town of Platteville. Cheryl Powell, Town Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet, you can see,
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I need to recuse, so I need to leave.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can recuse yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
you can go talk to Hope. Or make sure she's still there, please.
Hey, John?
Gosh.
John?
John, can you guys,
John?
can you step out?
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. John, you can take John with you.
Yeah, you can take John with you.
John, you can go with them. Okay.
All righty. All right. Please continue, Administrator Powell.
Yes, a couple times I have brought a draft boundary agreement that we're working on with Platteville. Platteville's, we've reviewed, both towns' attorneys have reviewed the draft agreement. This agreement was done in part because the previous agreement, or the current agreement, I should say, we never really fulfilled the needs of that agreement, either party. And it is a little difficult to do. And so with this new agreement, it's cleaner, it's simpler, it takes Gilchrist out of the picture. We will do a separate agreement with Gilchrist, hopefully soon. And I would just say that the Platteville Board unanimously approved it at their September 3rd, 2024 meeting. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, questions from the board. Trustee Beckman, she's still with us?
I think she's gone.
Couldn't get any sound, and I'm not sure what is causing the issue.
Okay. All right, Trustee Lane?
I have no questions.
Trustee Nix?
No questions.
Trustee Orcutt?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
No questions.
I think it's pretty clear, we've gone over it, so I do not have any questions. Therefore, if there's no further discussion, I'll take a motion on the matter.
Well, I'd like to just say one more thing. These agreements, I think these boundary agreements are going to be important, maybe not today or tomorrow, but at some time in the future they will be. And it just, depending on, no matter what staff is here, either with either municipality, these agreements will be recorded so that the history is there. So that's all.
Okay, thank you. Take a motion.
I move to approve the revised intergovernmental boundary agreement between the town of Milliken and the town of Platteville as presented.
Second. Brian can second.
I second.
We tied.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean, sorry.
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
All righty. The next item on the discussion agenda was removed because we already discussed the civic clerk software. So we'll be moving on to a discussion regarding case number 2024B3327 filed in Well County District Court, for which we will be having an executive session. I'll need a motion for the executive session.
I have to recuse myself from
Yes.
the session.
You do.
It wasn't like a question, I'm just telling you. I already know.
We'll tell you when to leave.
Okay, thank you.
I move that we enter executive session pursuant to section 24-6-402, sub 4, sub E, sub L, is that correct?
Aye.
I, of the Colorado Revised Statutes for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategies for negotiations, and instructing negotiators with respect to case number 202 for CV 30327, filed in Weld County District Court by Milliken Investors LLC, and related matters pertaining to a development agreement to which the plaintiff and the town are parties, and section 24-6-402 4B for the purpose of receiving legal advice from the town attorneys on specific legal questions related to the same.
Thank you. Take a second on the motion.
I second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Me too. Now,
Oh, and you're back. Trustee Wakeman?
yes.
Trusting me too.
All right. Present in the meeting will be Trustee Wakeman, Trustee Lane, Trustee Nix, Mayor Pro Tem Dean, of course myself, Administrator Pell, Town Clerk Carrie Reinbarger, John Rabus, Matt Gold, and Keith Staggs. Other than that, Trustee Orcutt will be recusing himself. Thank you. Is there any, hope you come in, hon.
He's fine.
Hon, hope you come in.
She's going to be like, no.
Can we motion to close?
Oh, God, now she's scared.
Running away.
Oh.
All right. Any other business to come before the board? Do we have any board reports tonight?
I attended the North Front Range MPO and it was exciting as usual.
Anything pertaining to us that happened
No.
or? Okay.
A lot of air quality.
Okay. All right, on September 9th, I attended the meeting put on by RE5J School District regarding the Milliken Middle School and it moving to an elementary school. There were about 10 families in attendance. A lot of concerns raised by parents that have children in the age range where one would be going to one school, one would be going to the other. And so Scott Nielsen said that they would offset the start times to accommodate that. They went through a list of things that need to be fixed at Milliken Middle School prior to, and they believe that they can get them done, with the most important being security at the front entryway. They want to upgrade that and make it a double access point, much like what is already at Milliken Elementary School. In addition, there would be carpet in some areas, paint, color scheme mirroring kind of what Milliken Elementary has, because it is very appeasing. Keeping the main gym, because it was from the old Milliken High School, was very important, and really upgrading for a community meeting room, because the community really doesn't have large meeting rooms, and so they would be offering this as a solution for that. Also, a lot of discussion was placed on the possibility of the library opening up a new maker space over there and taking the north end of the building, which would operate on its separate own hours and separate internet from the school. So there was a lot of concern about children being able to access things that they shouldn't with their computers. And we discussed what a great opportunity it would be for the library to open up something bigger and offer different classes than what the library in Johnstown offers, and a whole different maker space and a special lab that I can't even describe. It was very interesting. But I think this is being a coordinated effort. And Scott Nielsen also drove home the point about, and it came up about moving the Festival of Lights back to the Milliken Middle School, which will soon be an elementary school. This year, due to weather, he was very much in support of that, as well as working with TRPR, because they have the gyms over there to offer additional recreational services. So very good discussion, a lot of information. They are working on more communication to the parents. So that was one of the things that kind of came about, is we need more information. They want to know what's the punch list and what's going to be done. What has already been done is the roof, the HVAC, and something else. It escapes me, I apologize. Do you have any comments?
Cafeteria, wasn't it?
No, the cafeteria's not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were gonna keep the old gym. What were they going to do with the newer gym?
They didn't say, but I think they're planning on keeping both gyms.
Okay.
The newer gym would be in the part where the library wants to be.
Would be, yeah.
So-
Yeah. North and east, yeah.
Yeah.
The north wing,
So-
basically. Although the old gym borders that wing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but they did talk heavily about partnering with TRPR as well, so I don't know how much they plan on keeping, so. It's very exciting.
Nice.
Good meeting. All right. If there's nothing further to come before the board, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we're out for the evening. Thank you, everyone.